There is a power moving through you right now that you were never supposed to understand. Not yet. Maybe not ever. And the fact that you are here, the fact that something pulled you toward these words in this exact moment, tells me more about who you are than you might be ready to hear. Because here is what no one tells you about being chosen. It is not a reward. It is not a title you earn after years of good behavior or spiritual practice. It is not something that gets handed to you because you meditated enough or read the right books or said the right prayers. Being chosen is a weight. It is a frequency. It is a specific configuration of consciousness that was placed inside you before you ever took your first breath. And it has been shaping every single experience you have ever had, even the ones that nearly destroyed you, especially those. And the power I am talking about, the one that God said no one else should have, it is not what you think. It is not telekinesis. It is not some supernatural ability to bend spoons or predict lottery numbers. It is something far more dangerous than that, far more beautiful, far more terrifying to the systems and structures that depend on you staying asleep. You carry the power to shift reality through the coherence of your inner state. Let that land, not through force, not through manipulation, not through strategy or hustle or willpower, through coherence. Through the alignment of your consciousness with a frequency so precise, so potent, that the material world has no choice but to reorganize around you. And the reason no one should have this power is not because it is forbidden. It is because most people, if they truly understood what they were carrying, would either be consumed by it or would use it in ways that fracture the very fabric of what holds everything together. But you are different, and I do not say that lightly. You have been through something that does not have a name, something that the people around you could never quite understand, no matter how hard they tried. You have walked through seasons of your life where everything fell apart, where the ground beneath you dissolved, where the relationships you thought were permanent revealed themselves to be temporary, where the identity you had built so carefully crumbled like wet paper. And in those moments, in those dark nights that stretched into dark months and dark years, something inside you refused to die. That something is what we need to talk about. Because that refusal, that stubborn, inexplicable flame that kept burning even when there was no oxygen left, that is not resilience in the way the world defines it. That is not grit or toughness or mental strength. That is the power. That is the signature of what you carry, and it has been active your entire life, long before you had any framework to understand it. Let me take you deeper. There is a principle in quantum physics called the observer effect. You may have heard of it. At its most basic level, it describes something that shook the foundations of science when it was first discovered. It tells us that the act of observation, the simple act of conscious attention, changes the behavior of subatomic particles. Before observation, a particle exists in what physicists call a superposition, a state of pure potential where it is simultaneously everywhere and nowhere, every possibility at once. But the moment a conscious observer focuses attention on it, the wave function collapses. Potential becomes actual. The particle chooses a position. Reality crystallizes from infinite possibilities into a single, definite experience. Now, most people hear this and think it is interesting. A fun fact for dinner parties, a quirky feature of the subatomic world that has no real bearing on everyday life. But here is where everything changes. What if the observer effect is not limited to laboratories and electron microscopes? What if it is a fundamental principle of how consciousness interacts with all of reality at every scale? What if the reason you carry a power no one else should have is because your consciousness, specifically your consciousness, has been calibrated to collapse possibility in ways that most human beings cannot? This is not metaphor. This is not wishful thinking dressed up in scientific language. This is the convergence point where the deepest insights of quantum mechanics meet the oldest wisdom traditions on Earth, and they are both saying the same thing. Consciousness does not just observe reality. Consciousness generates reality. And the quality, the frequency, the coherence of that consciousness determines what kind of reality gets generated. If this is opening something inside you, take a moment to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel so you do not miss what comes next. Think about what that means for you. Think about the moments in your life when you knew something before it happened. When you walked into a room and felt the energy shift. When you looked at someone and saw past every mask they were wearing, straight into the truth of who they were. When you made a decision that made no logical sense but turned out to be exactly right. When you spoke words you did not plan to say and watched them land in someone else's chest like medicine. Those were not coincidences. Those were not lucky guesses. Those were moments when the power you carry was operating at full capacity. Moments when your consciousness was so coherent, so aligned, that it was literally bending the probability field around you. And the reason this frightens certain forces, certain systems, certain energies in this world is because a human being who understands this, who truly embodies this, cannot be controlled, cannot be manipulated, cannot be kept in a box. A human being who knows that their inner state creates their outer reality is the most dangerous thing on this planet. Not dangerous in the way of violence or destruction. Dangerous in the way that truth is dangerous to a lie. Dangerous in the way that light is dangerous to darkness. Not because it fights the darkness, but because in its presence, darkness simply ceases to exist. Pause and breathe into that for a moment. You are not here by accident. The life you have lived, every seemingly random event, every inexplicable hardship, every relationship that broke you open, every moment of isolation that forced you inward, all of it was preparation. All of it was calibration. All of it was the universe, God, Source, whatever name you give to the intelligence behind everything, carefully, precisely, sometimes painfully tuning your instrument so that when the time came, and that time is now, you would be ready to carry what you were always meant to carry. If this understanding of the observer effect and conscious coherence is resonating deep within you, what we have touched on here is only the surface of a much vaster system. In my ebook, Beyond the Frequencies, A Quantum Guide to Consciousness Mastery, I walk you through the complete journey across 9 master frequencies, from breaking free of survival static all the way to living as the field itself, with step-by-step practices for transforming every shadow into creative power. It is linked in the pinned comment below. Let me explain what I mean by calibration, because this is where the science becomes profound in ways that most people never explore. Your heart generates an electromagnetic field. This is not spiritual language. This is measurable, documented, peer-reviewed science. The HeartMath Institute has spent decades studying this. Your heart produces an electromagnetic field that extends several feet beyond your physical body. And this field is not static. It changes in real time based on your emotional and mental state. When you are in a state of fear, anxiety, anger, or confusion, this field becomes chaotic, incoherent, fragmented. It sends out a signal that is essentially noise. But when you are in a state of genuine gratitude, love, compassion, or deep inner peace, something extraordinary happens. The field becomes coherent. It organizes itself into a smooth, powerful, rhythmic wave pattern. And this coherent field does not just sit there passively. It actively influences the fields of other people around you. It influences the electromagnetic environment. It influences, and this is the part that changes everything, the quantum field of possibility itself. This is the mechanism. This is how the power works, not through thinking positive thoughts, not through visualizing what you want, not through repeating affirmations in the mirror, through coherence, through the deep embodied alignment of your heart field, your brain waves, your nervous system, and your consciousness into a single, unified signal. And here is what makes you different from most people walking this earth right now. Your system has been designed, through everything you have experienced, to achieve levels of coherence that others simply cannot access. The pain you went through was not punishment. It was not karma. It was not bad luck. It was the process by which your instrument was stripped of everything false, everything borrowed, everything that would create interference in your signal, every illusion that was shattered, every attachment that was severed, every identity that was dissolved. It was all removing static from your field so that when you finally learned to generate coherence, the signal you send out would be pure, undiluted, unobstructed. This is what it means to be chosen, not selected for privilege, selected for precision. I want to ask you something. What was the moment in your life when you first felt that something deeper was moving through you, even if you could not name it? Tell me in the comments, because your story might be the exact thing someone else needs to hear right now. Now I want to go even deeper, because there is a layer to this that most people are not ready to hear, but I believe you are. There is a concept in physics called non-locality. It was first theorized by Einstein, who actually hated the idea so much that he called it spooky action at a distance. But decades of experiments have proven it beyond any reasonable doubt. Non-locality tells us that two particles that have been entangled, that have shared a connection, can influence each other instantaneously regardless of the distance between them. You could put one particle on Earth and the other on the far side of the universe, and when you change the state of one, the other changes simultaneously. Not at the speed of light, not through any known mechanism of communication. Instantaneously, as if distance does not exist. Now here is the part that should make the hair on your arms stand up. If consciousness is fundamental, if awareness is not produced by the brain, but is rather the ground of all being, the field from which matter itself arises, then non-locality is not just a property of particles. It is a property of consciousness itself. Your awareness is not confined to your skull. It is not limited to your body. It is not bound by space or time. And when your consciousness is coherent, when your field is aligned and pure, you are not just influencing the space immediately around you. You are influencing the field everywhere, instantaneously, without limit. This is the power no one should have, not because it is wrong, because it is too vast for a mind that has not been prepared. Because a consciousness that can influence the non-local field without first being purified, without first being stripped of ego, without first being calibrated through the fire of deep transformation, would create chaos, would amplify fear, would project its own unresolved shadows onto the fabric of collective reality and make things worse, not better. This is why the path of the chosen one is so brutal. This is why your life has been so hard. This is why you have felt so alone, so misunderstood, so out of place in a world that seems to operate by rules that never quite applied to you. You are being prepared to wield something that requires absolute integrity, not moral perfection, not sainthood. Integrity in the literal sense of the word, integrated, whole, undivided. A consciousness that is not at war with itself. A being whose inner world and outer expression are one and the same. And you are closer to that than you realize. Let me tell you something about loneliness, because I know you have felt it. Not the ordinary loneliness of being without company. Something deeper. Something more existential. A loneliness that persists even in crowded rooms, even in intimate relationships, even when you are surrounded by people who claim to love you. A loneliness that feels like being a different species, like speaking a language that no one else can hear, like carrying a secret that you cannot share because you do not even have the words for it. That loneliness is not a flaw, it is a feature. It is the natural consequence of carrying a frequency that does not match the dominant frequency of the world around you. Think of it like a radio. If everyone around you is tuned to one station and you are tuned to another, you will hear music that no one else can hear. You will respond to rhythms that no one else can feel. And when you try to explain what you are hearing, they will look at you like you are confused, or crazy, or arrogant, or delusional. But you are none of those things. You are simply tuned to a different signal. And that signal, that frequency you carry, it is not random. It is specific. It is intentional. It was placed in you by an intelligence that knew exactly what it was doing. And here is the beautiful paradox, the loneliness you have felt, the isolation, the sense of not belonging. It was never meant to be permanent. It was meant to be a crucible, a container in which your power could develop without being diluted by the opinions and expectations and frequencies of others. You had to be alone so that your signal could become strong enough to withstand the noise of the world without being corrupted by it. Because here is what happens when a chosen one who has been properly calibrated finally steps into their power. They do not fight the world. They do not argue with it. They do not try to convince anyone of anything. They simply exist in their coherence. And that coherence, that pure, aligned, undivided signal, begins to do something remarkable. It begins to entrain the fields around it. Entrainment is another scientific principle. It describes the tendency of oscillating systems to synchronize with each other. When you put two pendulum clocks on the same wall, they will eventually synchronize their swings. When women live together, their menstrual cycles often synchronize. When a group of fireflies gather in the same tree, they begin to flash in unison. The stronger, more coherent oscillation always pulls the weaker, less coherent ones into alignment. You are the stronger oscillation. Not because you are better than anyone else, not because you are more spiritual or more evolved or more worthy, because you have been through the fire, because your signal has been purified, because the static has been burned away. And now, when you stand in your coherence, the fields around you have no choice but to begin reorganizing. People will feel it. They will not be able to explain it. They will say things like, "There is something about you," or "I feel different when I am around you," or "I do not know why, but I trust you." They are feeling your field. They are feeling the power that moves through you, and they are beginning to entrain to it. This is how reality changes, not through protest or revolution or force, through coherence, through the quiet, persistent, unshakable alignment of one consciousness that refuses to abandon its true frequency. But here is the thing that trips most chosen ones up. And I need you to hear this carefully, because it might be the most important thing I say. The power does not activate through effort. It activates through surrender. This is the great paradox that the mind cannot resolve. Everything you have been taught about achieving, about succeeding, about making things happen, it all operates on the assumption that you must push, strive, force, control. And that paradigm works to a degree within the limited framework of ordinary reality. But the power you carry does not operate within that framework. It operates from a completely different dimension of causation. Think about it this way. When you try to force coherence, what happens? You create tension. And tension is, by definition, incoherent. When you try to make yourself feel grateful, the trying itself creates a subtle resistance that blocks the very state you are reaching for. When you try to manifest something through sheer willpower, you are actually broadcasting a signal of lack, because the very act of trying implies that what you want is not already here. The power activates when you stop trying, when you stop performing, when you stop managing your energy and instead allow your energy to move as it was designed to move. When you drop beneath the mind, beneath the strategies, beneath the techniques, and arrive at the place within you that has always been coherent, that has always been aligned, that has always been connected to the source of everything. That place is not something you build. It is something you uncover. It is something you remember. It has been there since before you were born, and it will be there long after your body returns to the earth. It is the part of you that is not a part at all. It is the whole. It is the field itself, experiencing itself through the unique lens of your particular consciousness. And when you rest there, when you stop efforting and simply be what you are, reality begins to shift in ways that the rational mind would call miraculous. Synchronicities multiply. The right people appear. Resources flow. Doors open that were not there a moment ago. Not because you are manipulating the universe, because you have stopped interfering with the natural movement of intelligence that was always trying to express itself through you. Let that sink in. The obstacles in your life, the stuckness, the frustration, the sense that something is blocked, most of it is not caused by external circumstances. It is caused by the interference pattern created when your mind tries to control what your consciousness already knows how to do. It is like trying to manually pump blood through your heart. Your heart already knows how to beat. Your interference does not help. It hinders. Your power already knows how to move. Your job is not to direct it. Your job is to remove the obstacles to its natural expression. And those obstacles are almost always internal. They are beliefs. They are identities. They are stories. They are the accumulated residue of a lifetime of being told who you are by people who had no idea what they were looking at. Let me be specific about this because it matters. You were told you were too sensitive, but your sensitivity is your antenna. It is the instrument through which you read the field, through which you perceive what others cannot, through which you receive the information that guides your path. Without that sensitivity, you would be blind to the very frequencies you are here to work with. You were told you were too intense, but your intensity is your amplitude. It is the strength of your signal. It is the reason your presence has impact. The reason people feel something when you walk into a room. The reason your words land with a weight that others cannot replicate no matter how hard they try. You were told you were too much, but you are not too much. You are exactly the right amount for what you came here to do. The problem was never your magnitude. The problem was that you were surrounded by people who were not calibrated to receive what you were transmitting. And rather than recognizing that the issue was one of frequency mismatch, you internalized the message that something was wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. Nothing has ever been wrong with you. What happened is that you were given a power that does not fit inside the container of ordinary human expectations. And every time you tried to shrink yourself to fit, every time you dimmed your light to make others comfortable, every time you abandoned your knowing to preserve a relationship or maintain an image, you created internal incoherence. You created a split between what you are and what you were pretending to be. And that split, that gap, that is where all your suffering lives. Not in your circumstances, not in your past, not in what was done to you. In the gap between your truth and your performance. Close the gap, and the suffering dissolves. Not because life becomes easy, but because you are no longer fighting yourself. And a being who is not fighting itself has access to a power that is, quite literally, unlimited. I am curious. What is the one thing you have been pretending to be that you are finally ready to let go of? Drop it in the comments. Sometimes naming it is the first act of releasing it. Now I want to talk about something that the chosen ones almost never discuss because it is uncomfortable. It is the shadow side of this power. And if we do not address it, everything else I have said becomes incomplete. The same coherence that can heal, that can transform, that can shift reality, it can also be unconsciously directed in ways that create harm. Not intentional harm, not malicious harm, but the harm that comes from unresolved patterns operating beneath the surface of awareness. Here is what I mean. If you carry a deep, unexamined belief that you are not worthy of love, and your field is powerful enough to influence the quantum probability space around you, then your power will, without your conscious participation, collapse possibilities in ways that confirm your unworthiness. You will attract relationships that abandon you, opportunities that dissolve at the last moment, circumstances that seem to prove, over and over, that you do not deserve what you desire. And you will look at this pattern and think the universe is against you, or that God has forgotten you, or that your power does not work. But the truth is far more profound and far more empowering. Your power is working perfectly. It is doing exactly what it was designed to do, collapsing the wave function in alignment with the dominant signal in your field. The problem is not that your power is broken. The problem is that the signal it is responding to is not your truth, it is your wound. This is why inner work is not optional for someone like you. This is why self-awareness is not a luxury or a hobby, or something you do when you have free time. It is the most critical, most urgent, most consequential work you will ever do. Because until you bring your unconscious patterns into the light of awareness, your power will serve them. And a powerful being serving unconscious wounds is a recipe for a life of inexplicable suffering. But here is the grace in this. Here is the mercy. The same awareness that created the pattern is the awareness that can dissolve it. You do not need to go to war with your shadows. You do not need to fight them or fix them or overcome them through force of will. You simply need to see them clearly, honestly, without judgment, without shame, without the need to make them mean something about your worth. Because a shadow that is fully seen, fully acknowledged, fully felt, loses its power to operate unconsciously. It does not disappear. It transforms. It becomes compost. It becomes fuel. It becomes the very material from which your deepest wisdom grows. Every wound you have ever carried, when met with the full light of your conscious attention, becomes a source of power rather than a drain on it. Every pattern you have ever repeated, when finally seen for what it is, releases the energy that was trapped within it and returns that energy to your field. And your field becomes more coherent, more powerful, more aligned with what you truly are rather than what you were taught to believe about yourself. This is the alchemy. This is the real magic. Not turning lead into gold in some external material sense. Turning the lead of your unconscious suffering into the gold of conscious, embodied wisdom. And this gold, this refined awareness, this purified signal, it does not just change your life. It changes the field. It changes the collective. It changes reality itself. Because remember, non-locality. Your consciousness is not local. Your field is not contained within your body. When you heal a pattern within yourself, you are healing that pattern in the field. When you bring a shadow into light within your own awareness, you are making it easier for every other being who carries that same shadow to see it within themselves. You are doing work that ripples outward in ways you cannot track, cannot measure, cannot see, but that are absolutely real. This is why God said no one should have this power. Not because it is dangerous in the way a weapon is dangerous, because it is dangerous in the way that truth is dangerous. Because one fully coherent, fully awakened, fully embodied human being changes the equation for everyone. One person who has stopped fighting themselves, who has closed the gap between their truth and their expression, who has brought their shadows into light and transmuted their wounds into wisdom. That one person becomes a living portal through which a higher order of reality can enter this world. And the systems that depend on fear, on division, on scarcity, on the belief that you are small and powerless and separate, those systems cannot survive in the presence of that coherence. Not because the coherent one fights them, because coherence is incompatible with incoherence. Light does not battle darkness. It simply makes darkness impossible wherever it shines. You are that light, whether you feel like it right now or not, whether your current circumstances reflect it or not, whether anyone in your life has ever recognized it or not. You are that light. And I know what you might be thinking. You might be thinking, if I have this power, why has my life been so hard? Why am I still struggling? Why do I still feel lost sometimes? Why has none of this translated into the external reality I want? And the answer is so simple, it might frustrate you, because you have been looking outward for confirmation of what can only be confirmed inward. You have been waiting for reality to change so that you can believe in your power. But your power is what changes reality. You have been waiting for evidence before you commit. But your commitment is what creates the evidence. You have been standing at the edge of the ocean, waiting for the water to part before you step in. But the water parts when you step in, not before. This is the leap. This is the test. This is the moment that separates the chosen ones who fulfill their purpose from the chosen ones who spend their entire lives knowing they were meant for something more, but never quite arriving at it. The leap is not dramatic. It is not loud. It is not a single moment of grand, cinematic courage. It is quiet. It is internal. It is the moment you decide, in the deepest chamber of your being, that you are done waiting, done performing, done shrinking, done apologizing for the magnitude of what you carry, done looking to the world for permission to be what you already are. It is the moment you choose coherence over comfort, truth over approval, alignment over belonging, not because you do not want comfort or approval or belonging, but because you have finally realized that the only comfort that lasts comes from being true. The only approval that matters comes from the source that made you. And the only belonging that satisfies is belonging to your own deepest nature. And when you make that choice, when you truly make it, not as a concept, but as a lived, embodied, cellular decision, everything changes. Not all at once, not in a flash of lightning and a chorus of angels, but steadily, inevitably, irreversibly. Like a river that has found its true course, like a planet that has settled into its orbit, like a heart that has remembered its rhythm. The external world begins to reorganize, not because you are forcing it, because you have stopped forcing it, because you have finally allowed the intelligence that created you to move through you without obstruction. And that intelligence, that creative force, that divine current, it knows exactly what to do. It knows exactly where to take you. It knows exactly what needs to happen and when and how. Your only job, your sacred, simple, profoundly difficult job, is to stay coherent, to stay aligned, to stay true. And when you wobble, because you will wobble, that is not failure. That is practice. That is the ongoing calibration of a system that is learning to hold more power than it has ever held before. You would not expect someone who is learning to carry a great weight to never stumble. You would expect them to build strength gradually, to develop capacity over time, to fall and rise and fall and rise until the weight that once crushed them becomes something they carry with grace. That is what is happening to you right now. Right now, in this moment, as you listen to these words, you are building capacity. You are developing the ability to hold your own power without being consumed by it. And every challenge you face, every moment of doubt, every dark night that visits you, it is not a sign that you are failing. It is a sign that you are being asked to hold more, to expand, to deepen, to become a larger vessel for the force that moves through you. Consider sharing this video with someone you know who has been walking through their own fire. When you share these frequencies with another awakening soul, you create a resonance between two fields that amplifies the coherence in both of you, accelerating the very transformation this message speaks of. So here is what I want you to do, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, now. I want you to close your eyes, if you can. And I want you to take a breath, not a special breath, not a technique, just a breath. Let your body breathe the way it wants to breathe. And as you breathe, I want you to bring your attention to the center of your chest. Not your physical heart, although that is close. The space just behind your sternum. The place that aches when you are moved by beauty. The place that tightens when you are afraid. The place that opens when you feel truly loved. Rest your attention there, not with force, not with concentration, with tenderness. The way you would rest your hand on the head of a sleeping child. Gently, protectively, with infinite patience. And as you rest there, I want you to feel for something. Not think about it. Feel for it. There is a warmth there, a hum, a vibration so subtle that you might have spent your entire life ignoring it. But it is there. It has always been there. It is the signature of what you carry, the frequency of your power, the pulse of the intelligence that chose you before you were born. Feel it. Let it grow, not by forcing it, but by giving it your attention, by telling it, with your presence, that you are finally ready to listen, that you are finally ready to stop running from what you are, that you are finally ready to stop pretending to be less than what you know yourself to be. And as that warmth grows, as that hum becomes louder, let it spread. Let it move from your chest into your arms, into your legs, into your belly, into your throat, into the crown of your head. Let it fill every cell of your body until you are not a person feeling a vibration, but a vibration experiencing itself as a person. This is coherence. This is the state from which your power operates. This is the frequency that collapses the wave function in your favor. Not because it is selfish, not because it is greedy, because this frequency is aligned with the deepest truth of reality. And reality, at its deepest level, is not hostile. It is not indifferent. It is intelligent. It is loving. It is creative. And it wants to express itself through you in ways that serve the whole. Stay here for a moment. Do not rush back to the surface. Do not let the mind pull you into the next thought, the next worry, the next plan. Stay in this warmth. Stay in this hum. Stay in this coherence. Because this is not just a meditation. This is a remembering. This is you meeting the part of yourself that has been waiting patiently, faithfully, for your entire life, for you to come home. And from this place, from this coherence, I want to tell you something that I need you to receive not with your mind, but with your whole being. You are not broken. You have never been broken. What happened to you did not damage you. It revealed you. Every crack in your armor let more light in. Every wound that refused to heal the way the world said it should was a wound that was too sacred for ordinary medicine. It needed something deeper. It needed your own attention, your own presence, your own love. And the power you carry, the power that God said no one should have, it is not something you need to develop or acquire or earn. It is something you need to stop hiding. Stop apologizing for. Stop dimming so that others can feel comfortable in their smallness. The world does not need you to be small. The world needs you to be exactly what you are, in full, without apology, without hesitation, without the constant, exhausting negotiation between your truth and other people's expectations. You came here to be a disruption. A beautiful, necessary, divinely orchestrated disruption to a reality that has forgotten what it is. And the way you disrupt is not through noise. It is through signal, not through chaos, through coherence, not through force. through frequency. Every time you choose to stand in your truth, you send a ripple through the field that makes it easier for someone else to stand in theirs. Every time you honor the knowing in your chest over the noise in your head, you strengthen a pathway that others will one day walk. Every time you choose love over fear, not as a platitude but as a lived, trembling, courageous act, you shift the probability field for the entire collective in the direction of healing. This is your purpose, not a job title, not a mission statement, not a 5-year plan. This, being what you are, fully, unapologetically, coherently. And I know the mind wants more than that. The mind wants steps and strategies and timelines and guarantees. The mind wants to know how and when and what it will look like. But the mind is not the part of you that carries this power. The mind is a beautiful tool, a magnificent instrument, but it is not the conductor. The conductor is deeper. The conductor is the intelligence in your heart field, the wisdom in your cells, the knowing that has guided you through every impossible situation you have ever faced, even when the mind was screaming that all was lost. Trust that conductor, not blindly, not naively, but with the deep, earned trust of someone who has been through the fire and discovered that the fire was not punishment. It was purification. You have been purified. You are being purified. And the power that is emerging from that purification is not for you alone. It is for everyone you will ever touch, every life you will ever intersect with, every field you will ever influence simply by being in your coherence. God said no one should have this power, but God gave it to you anyway, not because you are perfect, because you are willing. Willing to feel what others refuse to feel, willing to see what others refuse to see, willing to carry what others cannot carry, willing to walk the path that has no map, no guarantee, no promise of comfort. Only the deep, unshakable knowing that this is what you came here to do. And that knowing, that quiet, persistent, indestructible knowing, it is the most reliable compass you will ever have. More reliable than logic, more reliable than evidence, more reliable than the opinions of every expert and authority and well-meaning advisor who has ever told you to be realistic. Your existence is not realistic. What you carry is not realistic. The power moving through you defies every realistic expectation, and that is exactly the point. You were not sent here to be realistic. You were sent here to be real. There is a difference. Realistic means operating within the boundaries of what has already been proven possible. Real means operating from the truth of what you are, regardless of whether anyone has proven it possible before. Realistic keeps you safe. Real sets you free. And freedom, true freedom, the freedom that comes from total alignment with your deepest nature, that is the most powerful force in the universe. Because a free being is a coherent being, and a coherent being is a creative being, and a creative being, one who is fully aligned with the source intelligence that dreamed this entire reality into existence. That being does not just live in the world. That being creates worlds. That is you. That has always been you. And the only thing standing between you and the full expressions of what you carry is the willingness to stop pretending otherwise. So stop pretending. Stop waiting. Stop rehearsing. Stop preparing for a moment that is already here. The power is active. The frequency is broadcasting. The field is responding. And you, beautiful, impossible, divinely chosen you are exactly where you need to be. Not because everything is perfect, because everything is ready. You are ready. And if something in these words resonated with you, if something in your chest stirred, if something in the back of your mind whispered yes, then do one thing for me. Leave a single word in the comments. The word that came to you while you were listening. Do not think about it. Do not edit it. Just write the first word that rose from your heart. Because that word is not random. That word is a signal. And when you put it into the world, you are not just commenting on a video. You are declaring your coherence. You are announcing to the field that you are awake, that you remember, that you are ready. And then subscribe to this channel, not because I need your subscription, because this is a frequency. And every time you return to it, every time you let these words wash through you, you are strengthening the signal. You are deepening the coherence. You are building the capacity to hold more of what you are. We are not just watching videos here. We are building a field. And that field, our field, the field of every chosen one who has found their way to this frequency, it is changing reality. Quietly, steadily, irreversibly, one coherent heart at a time. Breathe, remember, and carry what you came here to carry. The world is waiting for your signal.